is really my rock. I can't even, I don't think that you understand what I'm saying unless you know your father. You don't understand what I'm saying unless you really know your father, because knowing your father and who you mean to, what you mean to him, how much you mean to him, what he's willing to do for you, what he has for you, and all you have to do is ask for it. Just know, I don't know how to explain that. You just got to know your father, because knowing your father, I like to treat my chapters like a Netflix series, because I feel like your book is like a series, right? Something important is happening in each chapter that is leading you from the beginning to the very end. And each one of those events that is happening in each of those chapters is one of like the main things happening that is getting you to the end result. So I feel like that's how you got to treat your book. You got to treat it like it's a Netflix series, and every chapter is an episode. Why is this episode important? What is happening in this episode? What in this episode is leading us to the end? So that's how I like to do it. And then I'll also develop my characters. I like to develop what they look like. What is their personality, their age? Because I feel like when you get in depth about your character, it builds your character. Now you know why they're responding to trauma the way they do, or certain situations. Are they sleazy? Are they smart? Are they someone who's going to double cross you? Or are they someone who's loyal to you? Like, all those things matter, and it makes your story so much better. It makes your characters feel so much real. It makes everything else feel real. And when you have everything laid out, it's easy for you to be like, okay, what was chapter 3 about? What was chapter 2 about? What happened in chapter 5? You know what I'm saying? And then how is this character connected? Who is she? Oh, I can go back and remember, oh, I introduced her in chapter 2. She's a part of so-and-so, you know? So it helps you keep order. And I've used this method 3 other times to write 3 other manuscripts, and I finished them from beginning to end, no problem. So plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's something one of my teachers said, and I believe in that. So plan it out as much as you can. Lay it out. Do outlines if you have to, whatever's going to get you that story. But just make sure you lay it out as much as you possibly can, so you have so much to work with. And then make sure you lay your chapters out before you do them. That way, everything's just there for you.
Yeah. Beginning with the end in mind. What is the purpose? What is the end of the story? What point do you want to come across? Hence the second book having a new and different meaning than the first one. And the next one will probably take on a life of its own too. It's interesting listening to you as the point of an actor, because we get a script and we have to break it down almost backwards, like the way that you are, because we may, if you're filming in particular, a play you may do from beginning to end, so you can think about the arc of the character. But when you're filming, you have to know all the parts of the story, because you could film things completely out of sequence, and you still have to know where you are in the story and what's going on at that time. Have you ever had like a character take on a life of their own, or that you didn't expect in a book, or have a story kind of, oh, we're going to go this way with it, and you didn't see it coming?
Yeah, I speak about that all the time. I tell people, if you really are a writer, you understand the fact that when you're developing great characters, your characters can take over the story. Because your character, right, might handle something different than how you actually wrote it before you really got into developing this character. Because remember, I told you, I'm writing these paragraphs first, and I'm laying out the story first. Then I'm getting into who my characters are. So something like that definitely happened to me in Flames. Like, there was something that was supposed to go a certain way, and my character's like, but that's not what I do. Like, we're going to write that this way.
But those also are the best moments, and those are the page turners, and that's where the Netflix like ends the next episode, because they want you to like, wait, I have to know why that happened. What just happened? Right. And any good author knows how to make it a page turner, where you don't want to put that book down. And that's also what publishers are looking for. They're looking for something they know there's an audience for, that people want that style, but also that when they're reading the manuscript, they're also wanting to turn the page. They want to know what's coming next. And so that is, it sounds like you fell right into the right art for you. I'm curious, as a mom, like, do your kids write? Have they found their own paths? How do you encourage them to find their art?
So none of them actually like write. My oldest, he used to love to draw. That was his thing for years. Like, I would give him books to teach him how to sketch stuff, how to do stuff. So like for years, drawing was his thing. And he kind of drew more like anime characters.
Yep.
But drawing was his thing. Now now that he's older, it's more, I want to get into business and finances, and he don't draw no more. That's like, I used to do that. Now I want to learn finances.
It's interesting how it shifts like that. Like you think you know what your kid's gonna do, and then they do something different. I have some that are definitely experimenting all over the place, and I'm like, oh, I think I know that. Nope, just like the characters in the book. And I think as a mom, it's important to let them be in charge of their story, like we were talking about too. And so I recognize teenage years right now. I have teenagers, and then I have a 5-year-old. Is like, this is where they decide their identity. I've got to let them explore their story. I got to let them explore different things within safe boundaries.
Because you're still a mom. They're still not grown yet. So we still got to be rearing you.
I'm not holding the pen. I never was. Like, I need to let them have their voice and let them develop that. I think that's so important, because there are parents who think, you know, I know I came from the area of children are seen and not heard kind of thing, and wasn't encouraged to develop my voice, which was really a detriment in adulthood, and became a real dysfunction to be such a people pleaser, to thinking that's how you survive, or that's how life is. Not, you're this whole individual with your story, and then you got to honor that, and you got to keep that. And I think that's where in society we really want authenticity. We don't want just the sales in the front, and we want depth. We want to know people at a deeper level. Why did you start that company? Why did you become an author? Why are you who you are? And then, do my values align with your values? And do I want to back that? I love that we're being more conscious of that, and what we're putting our money into, whether that's food we buy for our kids, to what books we buy, to what we invest in. And I think that's another way to look at it too. And with all of this, like, what is something in your life that defined resilience for you, since we're on the Resilient Mother podcast? I'm just curious.
For me, I would say something that defines resilience for me is the fact that no matter how much I get kicked down, I'm going to get back up. You're going to have to do a lot of kicking to keep me down, because God made me to get back up. Like, he never made me to lay down and just stay there. So I'm never going to lay down. Like, that's just that. I'm never going to lay down. Life is going to keep lifing, and I'm never going to lay down.
Where do you think that moment came for you where that became the determination? Because there's probably somebody hearing this that's going, oh, I'm down. I don't think I can get up again. What would you say to that person?
Well, I mean, so for me, I'm just going to speak for me. God is really my rock. I can't even, I don't think that you understand what I'm saying unless you know your father. You don't understand what I'm saying unless you really know your father, because knowing your father and who you mean to, what you mean to him, how much you mean to him, what he's willing to do for you, what he has for you, and all you have to do is ask for it. Just know, I don't know how to explain that. You just got to know your father, because knowing your father, that's your rock, because you already know. You have to think about it like this. If Jesus went through what he went through, what makes me feel like my life is going to be soft? What makes me feel like I'm not going to get knocked down and have to get back up? This man literally went through the most, and he was highly favored, highly loved by the Father. So if he had to go through that, what do you think you're going to go through? Absolutely nothing. No. And nobody gets refined in a period of going through nothing. You only get refined by going through the fire.
Yeah. And there's light on the other side.
Always. And even when you're in the dark, right? Your father is right next to you with a lantern. He's going to walk you through it if you come to him, talk to him, let him know what you need, what you want, what's going on, how you're feeling. Be honest and open.
Oh, amen, sister. Amen. I couldn't agree more. If anything, I feel like the things that I've been through totally attest to that too. God is always there. God is always faithful, but you have to know him. You have to reach out to him. That's the agency part. That's the faith part. And you just have to be able to know that he's there, and he will always be there. He's just there with open arms. We're the ones that move.
No, seriously. We don't realize there's this song where he says, this guy is saying, I'm like, he's afraid to love God because he heard about God from humans. And because we hear about God from humans, we feel like God is going to treat us like a human. You know how we keep disobeying, we falling into sin. Oh, he's going to be mad at me. He's going to leave me because I keep on falling into sin, not realizing that his mind surpasses ours. He already saw who you was going to be and loved you for that. Matter of fact, even when you're in your worst, he is looking at you and all he sees is what he created, not what this world created, not what your circumstances created, but what he created. Oh, I can't keep talking about this. I'm gonna get emotional.
It's so important today.
I feel it.
People need hope. People need to believe you can create the life that you want, but it doesn't mean it comes easy. Sometimes it's most adversity, because I think what I have found, the people that have the most adversity are who God trusted more with, because somebody needs your story. Somebody is waiting for your light, for you, not for somebody else. They're waiting for you. So you have value. You matter. You need to be here. The adversity is because there's something in you. There's more. Something needs to shift. Something needs to change. Something needs to heal. That's not a sign that you're less than or you're stuck. It's something's ready to shift. And when you can let God be a part of that shift, it can bring miracles. It can be life-changing. And then you can be that author that you wanted to be. You can be the mother that you wanted to be. You can really honestly do anything when you have God behind you. I love the saying, and I have it on one of my socials, that God wants to bless you. Let him. Let him be there.
God literally, in my mind, I'd be looking at it like this. God literally has a store cabinet for you with all the blessings you could ever want or need. And he'd be like, I'm just waiting for you to let me know what you need. And sometimes it's not about you letting him know what you need. It's also about being in alignment, because God will not bless you with nothing that he knows you're not going to be able to carry and hold. So if you in a place you're not supposed to be, you with someone you're not supposed to be, you're doing things you're not supposed to be. Yeah, God has this blessing for you, but you have not stepped into the path I need you to be for me to give this to you, for you to be able to water it and watch it grow. If I give it to you right now, this thing is going to wither and die.
Yeah.
So I can't. You got to be right where you're supposed to be to receive this blessing. You know how they be like, God sent your blessing to this address, but you went to that address and wondering why you didn't receive it?
I think.
Get your resilient fix in 2026 with Coach Tiffany, now a nationally recognized certified personal trainer and also your high performance coach, host of the Resilient Mother podcast. You can now train with her in person or online. Just text TRAIN to 435-294-5456. You can also find her at the Sports Academy in Logan, Utah, or you can email her at resilientmomrising@gmail.com. We'll see you soon. Resilient you.
What also speaks to that is, like, we know what we want. We want something and we want it now. We're human. We're not patient.
No patience.
He knows what we need. There's a difference between what we want
and what we need
sometimes, but he knows that difference because he can see the whole picture and we can only see like this much of it. All the circumstances around it that, it's not time yet. It's not time yet. Just like you were saying, it won't grow yet. It won't grow yet. I'll let you know.
Right.
You know,
right.
And sometimes that's longer than we want to wait. But
because it be us, though. It be us. Sometimes it be longer than we want it. Just like, for example, when we go back to the wilderness. Why was we in the wilderness so long? It wasn't God. It was us. It was us. And God's like, listen, I've been trying to bring you hard-head, stiff-necked people out, but you won't stop doing what you're doing.
A whole generation had to die before I got you guys on the right mindset here. Yeah.
And that's how it is sometimes. Like, things just be dying and we're still just like, nope, God, we're not ready yet. But then you got people who will blame God. Well, it's God's. Is it really God's fault, though? Is it really? Like,
the blame game is
you didn't do anything.
Yeah, the blame game is very, very that's not a good round to go, because then you're not taking responsibility. Like, I don't think that's resilience. I think resilience is like understanding the power of your choice, that you have a choice. You always have a choice. No matter what's going on, you have a choice in this moment. Like in high school, I was reading this book called Crime and Punishment. It's in the 1800s. It justifies all of these people ending up in horrific situations or lives, or like a woman having to become a prostitute because it was the 1800s and she ended up in poverty, or a guy who murders somebody else. Like, it justifies crime and punishment and tries to justify that it was circumstantial. So I wrote a paper called Crime and Punishment, Choice and Accountability. And I took each of the characters and even if they had faced death, staying true to who God expected them to be, the blessings would have come after. And I think that's sometimes the hard thing, is the blessing may not be in this life.
In this realm, yep.
But it's still there, but you have to be faithful for it, or it doesn't look like the way that you wanted it to look. But I don't think there's any justification for, I mean, we have struggles. We have mental struggles. We have economic struggles. We do have struggles. Yeah, let's be real. Life is not easy at times.
Oh my God, no.
But like you said earlier in the beginning of the podcast, there's somebody else going through it and they've gotten through it. So God didn't need us to be alone and isolated either. And that's what's tricky about today, is we're more connected, but yet more isolated than ever. Hence that.
Because we're more connected like this. And that's not the same as a physical me being in front of you. Matter of fact, me being able to cipher off your energy, because we are energy. We are energy. That eternal thing in you that doesn't die, baby, that's the energy. That's why, like I be telling my kids, walk by an antenna, see how it changes when you walk by, or how it was messing up, but you hold it and it don't mess up no more. That's energy flowing between you and that antenna. We're energy. So even being around people, someone could be sad and I come in with this happy aura, and my aura rubs off on them. My energy transferred to them. You get what I'm saying? So that genuine connection of being with people matters. Being around people matters.
And when you know God and you know how powerful his love is, and how much there is in the world, like there is so much love, and we are just asked to be love. We're just asked to be conduits of love. And then we can go around and touch people with their light. Like, and I think about it too. I was in a group and we were talking about love this week because it's Valentine's Day week and all of those things. And it came to me, love kind of in this different way of like, there are some people who are hard to love. Let's be honest. There are some people that are hard to love. Some, and so how do you overcome that? You have to see them as God sees them, right?
I took psychology. I have a degree in general psychology, a bachelor's degree in general psychology. And even though I took psychology, for me, I feel like it was a waste, because in psychology, it just confirmed everything that I had already thought about people and the way I think. And the one thing I like to say is dig deep. For me, I'm a dig deep kind of person, because, for example, say someone is hard to love. They might be stone cold, always being mean to people, just seeming like they're never happy. But then that makes me ask, what happened to you? Because nobody just gets like that. Life happened to this person in a way that they did not share, or you don't know. And that's why they're the way they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people are the way they are because what happened to them in life, and they are carrying that so much that they can't let it go and be happy. Or repetition. You know how you might have a certain thought pattern for so long that that's just your thought pattern now. You have internalized it and normalized it. So we have to start digging deeper and asking, what happened? Why? Like, try to get them to open up to you to see what made them be this way. Yeah.
Oprah, there's a book out there I know Oprah really likes, that's something to the effect of, not what's wrong with you, what happened to you.
Yeah.
And it's all about that. And reading that book was so powerful, with the idea of like, we kind of come into the world, we're not clean slates. We're still individuals. We still have all of who we are when we get here, but that life does and can throw us off of who we were originally meant to be. And a lot of our adult life and the end of our life is coming back home to ourselves and coming back to who we were actually supposed to be and who we were meant to come here to be. And I think that's just the human experience of we're in this environment that we're spiritual beings having a mortal experience. Mortal beings having a spiritual experience. And so this body is new. These feelings are new. Like this is all new, but we have to know both sides. Like, we have to know the good and the bad. We have to know the opposite of each thing, because that empowers our agency. It gives us an idea of how powerful it will be in the next life, what we do with our agency, but just in general with our agency. Wait, this choice that I make, who does it affect? Is it going to be a positive or a negative consequence. And sometimes we can't see those things. Sometimes in a good way, and then we hope God blesses it, because sometimes we have to do good without expectation. We are just planting a seed. Like we talked about earlier, we don't get to see the outcome. We don't get to control the outcome, but we can know that we did good with our agency. And if we can go through life that way, we don't have to fear being good, being reserved, being worried about being vulnerable, really, because you can have boundaries so people don't take advantage of you. I'm not saying be so vulnerable people taking advantage of you, but we're also much more guarded than we used to be, versus being willing to go deep, willing to have these kind of conversations, willing to share our faith this openly on a platform like this, because we know there's somebody out here who needs to hear it. We know there's somebody out there that needs to know they're not alone. And we want to give them a bit of our testimony, a little bit of our, hey, we're on the other side. Come over here, join us. You can you here too.
But that's what God uses us for, though. In the word, right? Sometimes when people ask for stuff, who does God send? One of his children. Sometimes we are standing in the gap for somebody. So sometimes we do need to go to people, because she could be like, I'm not really feeling love today. I feel like I'm worthless. You know what I'm saying? God, I just need a hug. Then her neighbor comes over and gives her a hug out of nowhere. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you don't even realize that he sent her to give you what you needed. So sometimes that's what we are. Sometimes we're his tools, and we were created to be his tools. So
and it can be so simple, like that, like a hug, like a smile, like a hi, like, oh, I should send this note. I should tell somebody a compliment. I mean,
when you're thinking about somebody, when you like, if I'm thinking about someone, I'll send them, hey, I was just thinking about you. I hope your day is going well. You know, like sometimes when someone crosses your mind, it might be meant for you to reach out to them and say something. If they cross your mind in a way where you're like, I just want to say hi to them, or I just want to see how their day is going, do it. Do it, because it might just not be a thought from you. It might be the Father like, hey, one of my other kids needs you. You don't know she needs you, but I know she needs you today.
I think that also can come to finding your calling. You found yours as an author. I know stories about people where God said, you're a singer. And then she knew. From then on, to be a singer, and went on to be a famous opera singer. If you know who I'm talking about, you know. If you know, you know. But other people, their path was clear. Not everyone's path is clear.
Right.
And it's not always something grand. Sometimes it's just being a really good human being. We need more of that. We need more love in the world. So whatever that looks like for you in your life, trust what that voice is that's inside of you. It's also part of you remembering who you really are, and that you are something more than what you're facing right now. And so, oh, what a fun conversation. Thank you so much. I love your vulnerability, your openness. Like, this is what it's about. You know, people have made their message. People have stepped into their full authenticity, and now they're sharing it in books. They're sharing it in songs. They're sharing it in speaking, their presence and their mothering. And like, we all get this chance to like show up, write our story, and own it. If people wanted to know more about your books, they want to work with you, maybe have them help you write a book with them or something, where can they find you?
So first and foremost, I have my own website where you could reach out to me. You can get a copy of my book. You could see my work. You could see other podcasts and stuff that I do, which is www.ShawnieceWritez.com. And then that's my main website for me. If you ever wanted to purchase my book, not on my website, you can actually go to Amazon, and it's on there. But I do tell people Amazon is a little bit more pricier than me, and they're not going to give you a signed copy. And everybody always gets like a little free gift bag, because I know when I order stuff, I like when I get little free trinkets and stuff like that. Like, who doesn't like it? So if you go to my website, you get the full shebang. Social media. Social media. I have a Facebook, and you can follow me on Shawniece Hall. I have Instagram. I'm ShawnieceWritez. And then on TikTok, it's Niece101. And those are the only social medias I have, because it's social media. Is too much.
Include that down here somewhere, so that, you know, if you're listening to it right now and you're like, come find the episode, and we'll put it down in the notes so you have it. Don't worry. We got you. So, well, thank you so much for sharing your faith, your story, and your motherhood with me today. Thank you, audience, for being here. I hope you found some value in here. And if you know someone who needs this message, please share, like, subscribe, all the things. This is meant to be a community for mothers. for mother entrepreneurs, whatever that looks like for you. We're here to support that and build a positive community, a place where we can all shine our light and help each other shine brighter. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Resilient Mother podcast.
Do you just feel stuck? It's the new year. You expected some change, but the motivation, the momentum, it's just not there, and you can't figure out why? Well, you might want a life coach. Hi, I'm Tiffany. I'm a certified high performance coach and have been for about 3 years now. And I can get people results in small mini coaching sessions. Give me 30 minutes of your time. Let me show you how you can get a breakthrough and transformation by having someone help you see what you can't see and hear what you might not be hearing in your own words and in your own story. You're the author of your story. Let me help you take back your pen and start writing the story you actually want to create, to thrive in your life and feel alive. Text coach to 435-294-5456 or shoot me an email over at resilientmomrising@gmail.com. We've got the solution for you.
Thank you for joining us today. Please don't forget to subscribe so we can share this message. We are a worldwide podcast with guests all around the world, and we want to continue to grow this community. You can find us on socials. You could also be a guest. Look for that link below if you'd be interested in being a guest on the podcast. If you know a sponsor or would like to be a sponsor, please reach out to me or Catherine as well.
Sure. We want you all on this journey. We want to hear your stories. We want to share your stories. We want to gain strength from each other because together we're stronger. And to never forget the blessing of being a mother and what we're creating. We're creating the future every single day of our lives. So get on this train with us and let's do this thing, moms.
I believe in you. Believe in yourself. God bless. And we'll see you around. Take care.